What's up YouTube, welcome back to another video on my channel Skotrix, and today as you can see we are back on NBA 2K21, and in today's video I'm going to be showing y'all the best badges for any stretch big man, whether you're a glass cleaning lockdown, a stretch 4, a stretch 5, a stretch playmaker, 3-level scorer, anything, no matter what your build is. I'm going to show you guys the best badges for any stretch big, so no matter what your build is, I got you covered. Now how this is going to work is I'll go through every category, finishing, shooting, playmaking, defense, and I'll show you guys which badges I would suggest for every amount of badges that a build could have. So for example, for shooting you could have as low as 15 or 16 shooting badges with a glass lock. So I'll start at 15 or 16, I'll show you how to put on your badges for that many, and then I'll go all the way up and I'll show you how to put on the badges for if you have 17, if you have 18, if you have 19, all the way up to 30, because that's what a stretch 4 or a stretch 5 or a 3-level scorer could have. So hopefully that makes sense. So I'll cover every single build no matter how many badges you have in each category. If it doesn't make sense now, it should as we start getting into the video, but without any further ado, let's get going on the video right here. Alright, so first we're going to start off for finishing. You can see this build has 14 finishing badges, but like I said, I'm going to show you every amount of finishing badges from 1 to 14, because I believe 14 is about the max you could have for a stretch build. So I'll show you how to put on your finishing badges, whether you have 1, 2, 3, anywhere up to 14. I'll show you right here. So first we're going to start off, if you only have one finishing badge, I recommend putting it on Putback Boss. This isn't the best finishing badge, but for a non-finishing big man, I think it's really good, because I would assume if you only have one finishing badge, you're not going to be slashing to the rim too much, so you probably won't need Slithery Finisher or Consistent Finisher, which are both really good badges, and I'm going to recommend those in a minute here for builds that have more than one finishing badge. But if you only have one finishing badge, I think getting Putback Boss on is your best bet, unless you're just sitting in the corner or something and you never get offensive rebounds. Then you could sub out Putback Boss for something like Consistent Finisher or possibly Back Down Punisher if you're trying to shoot post fades. But for most builds, I would say Putback Boss on bronze is the best for one finishing badge. And then if you have 2 or 3 finishing badges, I say just get Putback Boss all the way up to gold, so you can finish off those offensive rebounds really well. But now if you have from 4 to 6 finishing badges, I recommend you either get Back Down Punisher as high as possible or Consistent Finisher as high as possible, depending on if you have a post fade on your build and if you shoot post fades. If you do shoot post fades, get Back Down Punisher on gold so that you can get as deep into the paint as possible before you shoot your post fade. But if you don't plan on doing that, then get Consistent Finisher up as soon as possible. I'm going to say that you probably don't plan on doing that because I don't see too many people shooting post fades with stretch big men. So I'm going to put the next 3 onto Consistent Finisher. So if you have 4 to 6, make sure you invest in Consistent. Now after that, same thing, if you shoot post fades, invest in Back Down Punisher. If you don't, then use your next 1, 2, or 3 to invest into Slithery Finisher. Then after Slithery, if you have more than 9 badges, I would recommend putting them into Relentless Finisher as high as you can get it, depending on how many badges you have. And this is probably all that most people have, 12 or less. But if you do have more than 12, if you do have 14 or something, then I would say just put these last 2 into Back Down Punisher. Whether you have a post fade or not, it is a good badge just for getting into the paint if you have a smaller guy on you or a weaker guy on you. This is how I would set up the badges for any stretch build. But again, hopefully you guys understand that most builds will not have this many badges. So now let's go into shooting right here. Alright, so for shooting, I'm going to assume that you have anywhere from 16 to 30 shooting badges and that you can get them on Hall of Fame. So if you only have 16 shooting badges, what I recommend for you is Hall of Fame Catch and Shoot, Hall of Fame Corner Specialist, Hall of Fame Hot Zone Hunter, and Hall of Fame Range Extender. That's really all you should need if you only have 16 shooting badges. I'm assuming that you only have 16, you're a glass lock, and you probably just want to be sitting in the corner, so these are the best badges for just sitting in the corner and shooting spot up threes. But now if you have more than this, the next thing that I would invest in is getting Deadeye up to gold, and after that I would say get Flexible Release up as high as you can, up to Hall of Fame if possible. And if you're a stretch playmaker, you probably don't need Corner Specialist, so you could take that off and just equip these that you see right here and then keep going from where I am. But if you're not a stretch playmaker, if you're a stretch big or a glass lock, you're going to want Corner Specialist on. And now with these last possibly up to 7, the next thing that I would invest into is you could invest in deep fades if you want to shoot fadeaways. I'm going to assume that you don't want to shoot fadeaways because most people don't. The next thing that I would invest in is Volume Shooter. Get that as high as you can. If you can only get it to bronze or silver, that's okay. But if you're a 30 badge stretch, get that up as high as you can to Hall of Fame. And then with these last 3, I would go to Green Machine up to gold. You don't need Green Machine any earlier than this unless you're a 30 badge big. It's really an overrated badge this year, so you shouldn't need it. You really shouldn't. But this is how I would set up the shooting badges for any stretch big right here. Just follow along in the order I did it until you max out your badges and you should be good. So now let's go into playmaking right here. Alright, so first off for playmaking, I'm going to assume that you don't have playmaking in your build and that you only have a few playmaking badges that you can get up to gold. And if that's the case, if you're either a glass cleaner or a stretch big, stretch 4, stretch 5, whatever, First badge I recommend getting is still Quick First Step. I think it's just such a good badge for any build. Even if you're not a playmaking build, I recommend getting Quick First Step up first as high as you can. Then after that, get Unpluckable up as high as you can. After that, you're going to want to get Needle Threader up as high as you can. And if you have more than 9 playmaking badges, you shouldn't need Break Starter, because if you have more than 9 playmaking badges, you should have good pass accuracy. So you should be able to make 4 full court bombs. So I would recommend either Bailout or Downhill if you have decent speed on your build. If you don't, just get Bailout as high as you can, which should be gold, and that's 12. Most big men that aren't stretch playmakers shouldn't have more than 12, but some stretch 4s and stretch 5s could have up to 14. So if you do have 2 more, I would say maybe just put it on to Lob City Passer or something, and you should be good right there for any stretch big. But now I'm going to show you, if you're a stretch playmaker, how to put them on. So just get rid of a couple of these. The first things that you're going to want is Unpluckable on Hall of Fame, Quick First Step Hall of Fame, Handles for Days on Hall of Fame, Floor General on Hall of Fame, and then Dimer up as high as you can get it. Hopefully you can get that up to Hall of Fame. And most stretch playmakers have 23, but if you don't have 23, just follow in the order that I did it here. But if you do have 23 with these last 3, you're going to want to go with Needle Threader, Tight Handles, and then Space Creator, all on bronze, just like that. This should be the perfect way to set up playmaking badges for any big man build that's a stretch, whether you're a regular stretch, which is the gold ones that I showed you a second ago, or a stretch playmaker with these ones. You should be good with this. Now let's go into defense right here. Alright, so for defense, I think the maximum amount that any build could have is about 22, but the lowest amount that any build should have is about 5 on gold. So I'll show you guys first how to put on the badges with 5, assuming you can only get it up to gold. So if that's the situation you're in, I recommend getting Rebound Chaser on silver, Intimidator on silver, and then Rim Protector on bronze, just like that. If you only have 5 defense badges, that's how you need to set it up. Now if you have more than 5, if you have 6, get Rim Protector up again, 7, get Rebound Chaser up again, 8, go back to Rim Protector, 9, get Intimidator. Hopefully you have at least 9 so you can get these 3 badges. Then if you have 10 defense badges, just put Chase Down on bronze. Now if you have more than 10, this is where you could start investing into Brick Wall if you set screens, but I'm going to go on just assuming that you don't set screens. But if you do set screens, add Brick Wall right now, and then add the ones that I put on after Brick Wall until you max out. But for the sake of this video, I'm just going to assume that you don't set screens. So the next badge that you're going to want is going to be Worm on bronze. Bronze is good enough. Then you're also going to want Box on bronze, and this should be the most that any badge, or any build rather, that only has gold badges can get. So now I'm going to go on assuming that you have at least Hall of Fame badges, that you're a Glass Lock or something. And if you do have Hall of Fame badges, Rebound Chaser, Rim Protector, and Intimidator all up to Hall of Fame. Get those up as fast as possible. And then with your next 3, I would put up Interceptor all the way to gold. And then if you have any more, put Heart Crusher onto silver. And if you still have some after that, get Chase Down onto silver, and then Clamps onto bronze with your last badge if you have 22 defense badges. And that's how I would set up the defense badges right there, just like this. So yeah, that's gonna be it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoy. If you did, make sure you like, subscribe to my channel if you're new. I upload daily NBA 2K21 content as well as stream on Twitch. I'll have the link to my Twitch in the description. Make sure you go follow me over there. But anyways, that's gonna be it. Alright, peace.